Hey there, so it's Omni Robin with your daily update. And I can feel the energy and the stress going on. So many people are so frustrated about being locked in, locked out, can't do what they want to do, whatever you want to call it. There's so many people right now that are just like, they feel like they're getting like everything taken away from them. And I want to talk about that energy with you because it's coming up strong. And as an empath, someone who definitely feels all that energy, I want to share with you the insight that I have to that energetically. So when I first feel into this energy, I can feel that ancestral part of us who is like, we've been at some point held captive in whatever format you want to use that in, right? And this is like bringing that energy back into us. And it's really interesting that the coronavirus is attacking the DNA because the DNA is exactly what's coming up with this. Our DNA is saying, whoa, how do we flippin' not go back into starvation, go back into slavery, go back into confinement and go backwards? And there's a certain energy that's going on the planet right now where that we can feel kind of captive by that, right? Like that's been the old. And I want to tell you guys, there's new energy coming in, really good energy coming in. And that new energy is one that's kind of saying, screw that. We are done with being held captive. There was a part of us that kind of needed to regroup at home, which I can totally respect because at home you have your strongest energy in you, so you can connect in with yourself. But as you get yourself fueled up and you get yourself feeling really like stronger because you're like, all right, I'm kind of cool. I'm ready to go back out, play in the earth, get going. Let's get moving. Let's get doing. But there's these powers that be that is breaking down. I was literally talking to someone today. We were talking about the energy of the earth. And I was like, I can feel how May is getting better. And now where I'm at in the hemisphere, May is going to look different than someone else, right? In a different part of the earth. But I was like, it's like it's covered in mud and there's this goop just dripping off the edges of it. This goop is just dripping down. And that's because like there's certain amounts where we've had it longer in like the Europe and, the America, like USA, not South America. But it's moving down into that other areas of South America and, Africa and Australia. And as it's coming down, it's like this energy is just, getting heavier and dripping off. It's like the earth got smacked with a bunch of glob or had been being very key there, that as this air has gotten cleaner and the earth's cleaning itself, this ucky, muddy, tarry stuff is falling off. So what do you think is going to happen? Let me explain this to you from a point that might be really, if you've ever smoked cigarettes or had an addiction to food or pop or something. Let's use cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes, and I never have, but if you smoke cigarettes and you stop, your cells in your body that have nicotine receptors, which were never in there before you smoked a cigarette, they're screaming, I need to have some nicotine, and they're having a freaking fit. And your body's going, oh, I gotta smoke. I know I can't. I got, and you're fighting this battle within yourself to let go of not letting this old energy, being the nicotine, control you. And you can use any substance with this. It can be pop, it could be sugar, it doesn't matter. Any type of substance, any type of addiction. When you let go of these addictions, your body starts screaming because it's been programmed to be in alignment with these addictions. So look at the energy of the world and how it's ran in the past. The energy of the world, and you can feel into that and see how the energy of the world has ran in a certain capacity and we all became addicted to it. I know this is a hard way to say it, but just being for real here, we're used to certain things. Like you do this, this happens. You do this, this happens. You do this, this happens. And a lot of it is such a programmed way of looking at things that there's not freedom and free choice and free will. And a lot of freedom is not there, although we think we're free because we're like, oh yeah, we're good. We can go outside. Other countries can't do that. We can't even see our own restraint in it. So if you could imagine all of this programmed control is there. And then when something like this comes along and it doesn't give a crap, this virus doesn't give a crap about your what color your skin is, or what your income is, or where you live. It's everywhere, right? What it can become in alignment with is energy, but that's a whole different story we'll talk about at a different time. But as this come in, it's forced a certain energy because powers that be are like, oh, this is what we do. We're gonna, keep you in your spaces. What do you get what I'm saying? We're gonna put y'all here. So there you are. And after so much time, you're like, whoa, you start seeing what's going on. And I'm asking you, are you seeing? Are you really seeing what's going on? Your body, your spiritual, beautiful, aligned body is being a little bit of a rebel here, not in a negative way, in a programmed way. And this is from it can be ancestral, it can be the energy in the environment. It doesn't matter what it's from. And so once you have a time to be confined in your home, you're going to become more aware of yourself not having such liberties. And you're going to become more aware of not wanting to be controlled. And then you're going to be aware of how controlled you were to begin with. This is part of what's going on. This is part of the ascension process. Now, I personally feel like this is an enlightened time where we're going to move into some new energy and some new stuff. So if I'm talking about this and you're kind of getting it, you're like, oh, I get it. I mean, I don't know anyone on the planet that can't say at one point in time they were addicted to something, someone, something. And when you remove that, you were so used to it that it was so normal. But then when it was taken away, you finally start to see the truth. This is where I'm going with this. You start to see the truth. And then the beauty that's going on right now is our spiritual beings are getting upgraded, which is allowing our human beings to be upgraded. And we're in the middle of like the war between, I hate that word, but the war between that programmed being, the enlightened being, and we're in this murky water in between. And our spiritual selves, meaning I don't care who, what, where you are, your spiritual being is like, I really don't want to live in that mucky world anymore. I really want to have this freedom to be myself. I want to feel every part of me. I want to know if I'm angry and mad and upset, that I can feel that. And if I'm happy and joyful and feel alive, I can feel that. And I want to feel everything that I can feel. And I want to control what I feel, what I think, what I do, what I see. Now, here's the beauty of all of this. The thing is this is the beginning first step. You're just becoming aware today. And I'm going to enlighten you over the next few days more and more about the energy that's going on with all of this, the insight behind it, with everything, so you can get a clearer picture. But today's just the starting day. This is the first video, right, that I've made about this. This is in particular, like you're hearing the call, your body saying, oh, kind of aware of that, kind of aware of feeling a little bit more, kind of aware of some of the thoughts I'm thinking in my head I'm not real happy about. Some of the thoughts in my head, I don't know where they're coming from. And then you want to fight it. You're like, oh, I'm so angry. I don't want to think that way. I'm frustrated. I can't. And then, then you start going down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and all this other stuff. Okay, so stop that. That's not going to serve you if you're not looking in deeper, okay? So when you got all those random thoughts that's going on in the energy right now, trust me, I can feel it. It's pulsing like crazy right now. This would be a really good time for you to stop and say, okay, I'm feeling lack, I'm feeling controlled, I'm feeling imprisoned, I'm feeling these energies. What other areas of my life have I felt like this before? Where have I seen this displayed in other people around me? And how can I make it different? And this is where you can do some true inner work, where you start to look inside yourself and say, oh, that came from, my mother, my father, my whatever. Or, that kind of came from this time that I got fired from a job. Still mourn that job. I like that job. Or, wow, that came from a time when I found out I was pregnant and I was like, oh, my whole life's going to change and I wasn't planning on that. Or, you know, any life event that could be correlated to this. So you come into the energy of that and you say, oh, I see the correlation of how this is coming up. And I want to bring energy into my life that allows this not to come up so strongly. So as you're thinking into that and you release that, you release it, you take that energy and those thoughts, you give it back to source, to God, whatever. And you bring in that warmth, that comfort, that energy of like, you know, I feel safe because of, insert your thoughts, you know. I feel stable because, you know, or I'm really happy about the place I'm in my life because I learned so much from those lessons. This is a piece where you can start to shift it. You can start to shift the energy around the, I'm so freaking mad I can't do anything and I feel controlled, to actually I have a lot of power inside of myself and I'm the one that controls turning the switch on. I control that. You control here. How you think, how you feel, how you see it, all of that you control right here. And so starting to take that back on, and I'm going to continue to do these videos so that we can kind of build on this. I want you to build on being your full authentic self. Like, I feel mad and that's okay, because feeling mad is going to show me something. Or I feel happy and it's great to feel happy because I know I'm in alignment with this. This is the part I want you to grow with. Every day we're going to feel this energy and each day it's going to be different. I'm going to start talking about things in a more global aspect and talk about things. But today is really powerful to talk about today, especially the energy I felt the last couple of days. There was such an energy of people not feeling like they have freedom. And freedom is the word that I would like for you to focus on. I am free. I have free will. I have a choice in every aspect of my life. Think about that. You have a choice of how you think. And right now I can tell you the energy is moving so quickly that our thoughts are literally becoming things in such a small amount of time. So I'm sending you guys all some love. Look at this from an aspect that you can understand, where you can relate it to something physical and an addiction realm, and understand that when you take something away, because who wasn't like really comfortable about being able to go buy and do whatever we want whenever we want to do it? We're all pretty in tune with that. And shifted in saying, oh, I want the freedom that I'm not even controlled about the things that I wanted to do. I'm in control. You, come back to you. The whole thing about Omni is you, all you. Omni you, be you. All right, guys, we'll chat soon. This was kind of cool. Sometimes things will be heavy, sometimes they'll be light. Thing is, we got to be ourselves. We can't freaking keep denying that we're freaking ticked off sometimes and that we have a choice to do something about it. All right, take care. We'll catch you next.